Well, today is going to be another amazing day on Come Home. I have Eduardo Calcines with me again. And, he didn't bring his beautiful wife, Mercedes, but she's coming next time. And he has two incredible children, Gabriel and Christian, and their beautiful wives. And then he has a grandson that he's absolutely in love with, Luke. There's a miracle story there. We're going to hear about that. But Eduardo is a successful businessman, over 30 years. He is a mentor. He has worked with inner city youth, the toughest cases. God has used him tremendously to mediate and love and disciple and come alongside and help and heal. And, that's what we're all called to do. And yet he has just been exemplary in this. Also, at this juncture in his life, the Lord has finally released him to capture memoirs coming from a communist country and some of the heartache. It is captivating, enthralling, and he not only has written one book, but he's written three, and we're going to touch base on some of those. But before we say hello to him, I would like to show you this clip. That spot I just love, honoring his mother. His books are gripping, they're enthralling, they're captivating. You won't be able to put them down. In fact, my friend Ruth Ann has read them several times and says that she's still going to continue to read them. So, Eddie, thank you. Thank you for being on Come Home today.
My pleasure, Jen.
What a joy.
Likewise.
So, we could start with the book, or we could start with Luke. What would you like to?
That is an easy question to answer.
What?
Luke will always reign.
Your heart, right? The love of your
He's
life.
very much at the center of it, but after so many struggles, yeah.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
Tell us about Luke's birth story, the miracles that you've had to believe for, and just the victory that you all are walking in.
Yeah, Luke was a child like most others that we expected, had high expectations, even though for some of us it's always concerning whenever there is the birth of a child. But we never expected what actually happened. He was born with a brain disease by the name of the vein of Galen malformation. And this is a vein in the brain that exists in the fetus prior to his birth that feeds the blood to his brain and the development of a child. Once the child is born, that vein goes away. To put it in simple words, in his case, it never did. And it continued to gush blood into the heart. To put it in plain words, usually most of these kids die of a heart that explodes, essentially. So as harsh as that may sound, and through all of this journey of seeing him go through this, we did not know what was going on. He was flown to Shands Hospital shortly after birth. And in Shands, he spent 6 months where he had numerous brain procedures to try to close this vein. They basically tried it. It's just like plumbing, a pipe, this gushing water. They have to plug it up.
Yeah.
And so during that experience, he passed, he flatlined a couple of times. And so the struggle was the most incredible. Although we've been through a lot in our lives, I never seen anything like this, especially when your heart is just broken.
Yeah.
Yet never once did we lose hope in the Lord that He would
Yeah.
see him through it. So when a large percentage of these kids do not make it, Luke was able to overcome and eventually was flown to Boston, where a doctor by the name of Dr. Orbach, was able to bring scientific solution to his problem. But all along, I felt that he was in the Lord's hands.
Yeah.
And so you don't know faith. Most people do not know, and unless
Yeah.
you're in the storm. And it's easy to have faith when the wind is at your back,
Sure.
but it's when you face these situations. And so Luke today lives as a result of all of the wonderful hands that were applied upon him. His courageous,
And the
parents.
intercession. You had so many
Intercession.
prayer
Oh,
warriors.
had a lot of prayer
Yeah.
warriors. I put them out there, and I didn't care. It didn't matter what anyone thought, but I have such a solid group of individuals and prayer warriors, wonderful clients and friends and so forth that helped us through it. And it was all about keeping the faith with him. His parents were courageous. All of us just kind of supported to the best of our ability. But to see a child that in most cases would not live, and to see him today, you see in evidence, in
Yeah.
physical evidence, you see the Lord's blessings upon him. So eventually, that is a book that I will write, whether I write the story as it was or not, do it in a kid's format. But we need to be supportive of the Vein of Galen Malformation Association, and I intend to do that. May just be my final piece of work, in a sense, but it's wonderful. All of this work that I have done is always to proclaim the goodness of the Lord.
Yeah.
It's never to achieve anything financially or anything. It's just mainly to proclaim injustice, or it is a case of forgiving someone.
Yeah.
Because when you hate someone to the degree that I hated Castro and that regime, which I was willing to take action against them, and ultimately you come to forgive, it's a powerful message, and that message
Absolutely.
is delivered in the Salmon Run.
Yeah.
Although it was written as a fictional story, I write about it as Hemingway said, that it is very possible that this story may have happened indeed, and it did happen indeed. It's a testimony of faith. But because of the sensitivity of the subject matter, I decided not to go in that direction. Having said that, Luke is an inspiration to not only to me and to us as a family, but to the many others, including Ruth Ann, whom is here with us today. And she was a part of that prayer team.